So we're back. I'm here with my colleague, Sydney McCann. Sydney, thank you so much for joining me again.
Yeah, happy to be here again.
Awesome. We have some different subject matter. We're going to talk a little bit about our training philosophy. So right now, within a 90-day scope, we're training staff, and let's start with maybe the support staff.
Okay.
One of the most foundation roles that we have in our organization, and it's so important that we get it right. We can't afford to make a mistake. A lot of people that join will share horror stories of when they've joined another agency, of how I was just tossed into the mix. I wasn't ready. As someone who trains staff, what do you see? What do you see on the front lines? What does that look like for you?
Well, I definitely experience, I would say with almost every support worker I've trained, I've heard the story of, wow, I actually get to be trained. I actually get, long-term training on this.
Yeah.
So how we're doing it, at least in my house right now, is you have at least 3 12-hour shifts with the kiddo, and then you do an evaluation day, another 12-hour shift. And I found that while that evaluation day may sound scary, it's essential, because that's the day that people come in and they go, I actually don't think I'm ready.
Right.
I don't think I'm ready to do this on my own yet.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of companies don't give you that option. You're not allowed to say you're not ready. You need to start or you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But how we do it, you're not ready. You just get more training. And that makes, I think, a world of difference.
Yeah. I think by default, it's a lot of companies are understaffed.
Yeah.
So they're left force. We're just going to toss you in, and you've had your 1 or 2 days, or if you've read the policy manual, and our approach has had to be a lot different. We continually preach quality of care.
Yeah.
We all understand we're here for the same reason, and that's, person served and the person that we're delivering care to, and getting training absolutely right is paramount.
Oh, yeah.
It's so paramount. So let's go through those motions a little bit. Let's say someone's a support worker, they start their training. How long does that look like until they can really start work?
Well, like I said, you have to be trained with each kid on their own, because the reality is, if you're trained on one kid, that does not mean you're trained on another.
Yeah.
I've worked with, I think I'm getting close to 9 persons served in your company, and I would not say that my training with one could make it so I could step in with 0 notice for another.
Individualized, specific training.
Yeah. So
we have this beautiful digital format where we're following section 1, if you will, all about the company, and section 2 more about like your role and how you operate. So it can be somewhat universal of you've learned the basics, you can go to any one of our programs and really have those foundational skills, which we're obviously continually working on. And then section 3 is all about person served, individualized, specific training, and you're technically an additional staff member on shift. There's already someone working with person served, right?
Yeah. Until you've cleared an evaluation day, you're never going to be alone with a child. The deal is, like you're saying, that person served training to me is the center. You have that foundation, you have the basics, and then you train with the person served, and that's where your the key competencies come in. Yeah. And while you're doing your training, you'll have different lengths of shifts depending on the house. Yeah. In my house, it's 12-hour shifts. Yeah. And in those 12 hours, you will never be alone. You'll have your trainer. Generally, it's a supervisor or some senior staff member. Yeah. And you're with them for 12 hours. You just shadow, you watch, you build a relationship. Yeah. I mean, the person served care about who you are too. They don't want some stranger coming in and doing their hygiene care. Yeah. They want to get to know you and see your face, know your name, and understand your personality. They want to know who it is taking care of them. Right. So having that senior staff member, supervisor with them is almost like introducing and saying, hey, this is going to be someone who's going to work with you, and I'm going to bridge the gap and help you to connect. And you spend the next however many hours, ever many days connecting and bonding and building that relationship while also learning the key care skills. And so we're all about the right fit. Yes. And so that is huge for us because
we've built an agency that is full of like-minded, similar values of people supporting people. And have you ever run into a situation where your team was training someone and you need to sign off and you either said this person's not ready or this person is not the right fit? Because those are difficult conversations to have, and it can be uncomfortable. But as an advocate for the person that you're serving, what does that look like? Tell me about maybe a time that's come up.
Yeah, so I would say I handle both those situations very differently. So I'll kind of answer them separately.
For sure.
So if somebody comes to me or I notice or a trainer comes to me in any capacity saying, I don't think this person's ready, I don't think it's safe yet, or they're competent yet to be working alone with a certain individual or with any individual.
Yeah.
And generally that just means you need more training. And we do what we have to do. No matter how short-staffed we are, I'm not going to let you work alone with a child if we don't think you're ready. So we find a way, we make it work, and your training gets extended until everybody feels that you are competent and comfortable working alone.
And have you ever had someone that felt like they were ready when they clearly weren't?
I've actually never had that. And I think that just speaks to the safety of the environments we've built, because people actually feel safe enough to say, no, I'm not ready, without feeling that that's going to come back at them, that they're going to be, people are going to judge them or have negative feelings about that, or they'll be in trouble from me. I think we built a safe enough environment that I've never had an issue where I've said, I don't think you're ready, and they disagreed with me.
That's great.
More often than not, they come to me first. It's, are you ready? Do you think you're ready? And that's usually when it comes up.
The check-ins that we've built are so instrumental in between, hey, you're doing a training, both sides need to sign off on this training. So from the employee's lens, they need to review everything going, I'm confident and comfortable with this. And same side from the management lens of going, we need to feel without a shadow of a doubt, you're ready to do this job. So it's a really nice safety net to have both sides look at it from that view. And we acknowledge that there's some stuff you can't train on that you need to experience. But we've built these layers of management for the supervisor and the program manager to always be there, whether it be through on call or just from the day shift to really support new situations. So maybe tell me about the check-ins. We mentioned that there's multiple check-ins along the way for safeguards. Tell me about what that looks like.
Yeah. So we have 6-week, 10-week, 3-month check-in. And then once you've passed your probation period at the end of 3 months, then you're going to have another check-in every 3 months for the rest of your employment. And that check-in is going to be with your program manager. So
that's great.
They're wonderful.
What is that feedback in those initial stages, those crucial stages of 90 days, 3 months? What is that feedback, Luke? So what did you say, 6-week?
10-week. And then 3 months. Yeah.
Tell me about those of, let's just say someone's not meeting the mark. What does that look like?
Yeah, I would say I've almost never had a situation where I didn't check off not meeting on at least one of the core competencies. So we have a list. I have no idea how many, maybe 30 core competencies, and I've never not selected not meeting on one, because the reality is 6 weeks, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect at 6 weeks. And it's just a conversation around, hey, I've noticed that this thing is not meeting expectations. What do we need to do to bring you up to that? And that can involve, extra driving time to work on the van skills. It could be that they haven't learned how to vent G-tubes properly, and I need to do a one-on-one session with them. Or sometimes it'll land more in the personality base. Maybe somebody has a bit more of an aggressive personality than others are used to, and it's simply bringing it up. Are you aware that this is happening? Are you aware of that's how you're being perceived? How do you interpret it?
It's so huge, the ability to provide that feedback. I think everybody wants that. Everybody thrives off of what can I do to do better? What needs to change? And that works on both sides.
Oh, yes.
From the agency lens, and then also from the team member lens of getting that constant flow of communication. It really lends to a great result in the end.
Yeah, and I think we've developed a system where I would say almost always I have someone say to me, I actually don't like that you're doing this. I think there's something you need to work on, or something operations need to work on, a policy that needs to change, a coworker situation. No matter what it is, that is the time that somebody is able to tell me something that I can do to fix the house. And I think over the years, what we've seen is a lot of
added value through input. People have shared concerns, thoughts, opinions,
Yeah.
and we've really taken those into consideration, and it's kind of shaped what we have today.
Yeah, I can't even count how many policies have been made because a support worker has said
Good policies, not
good
bad policies.
No, good
Yeah.
policies have been made because the support worker's like, hey, I'm a bit confused about this. What should
Yeah.
I do? And I go, you know what? That should be company-wide.
Yeah.
And, our operations is able to build a policy that can
Yeah.
then be followed. And it's just simply something that was missed over because when it comes to caring for such complex individuals, you can't imagine. I mean, you may not be able to, but there
Yeah.
are so many variables.
Yeah.
You can't, it's just complex. And so many situations you can't predict, and
Yeah.
things come up over time that you have to adjust and build to and be flexible. And nobody can identify that better than the people on the front lines, the ones actually working with the kids.
They see it all.
They see it all.
Yeah.
They're the ones that identify the gaps because they're the ones falling in them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take it back for a second. We were talking about two things, and one of them was what happens when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting piece. Ideally, that doesn't happen. We catch that early on, but sometimes it's just not a right fit. And that's one thing we actively preach.
Yeah, I would say this is, relevant for most jobs, but in our line of our fields, it's especially relevant. And some people just aren't suited to be care workers, or at least care workers with medically complex kids. It's not a fun aspect of my job, but there has been several situations where people have gone through maybe a couple weeks of their training or even a couple months, and it's just been decided that it's not going to work. There's somebody who's not suited. And sometimes it has to do with personality. Sometimes they're not suited to work with our team. Sometimes they're not suited to be in medically complex situations where you have to make important decisions and act fast.
Yeah.
And that's just reality.
I agree. And I think it's so important. And this is something that we've practiced over the years is that, and it's really controlled the growth and the trajectory of the agency in regards to we're in no rush to expand.
Yeah.
But we our set of values is that we have to get it right. And that starts with the staff serving people. And it's so important that if someone's not meeting the marks, we give them that feedback. We give them every opportunity to succeed. We're in the business of supporting people, but also making sure that our team succeed. And if they don't, sometimes it's just beyond our control. And I think everyone deserves to know when it's not a good fit. It's not an easy or comfortable conversation. And our commitment has always been, let's put as much as we can into this to make sure it does work. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, at least we can all feel confident saying we gave it everything we had. Okay, so from today's episode, what's one key takeaway? What's most important to us?
Training is the foundation. It's the building block. I don't think this organization or any could succeed if we weren't trained properly. And training goes on forever. We have our staff meetings, we have Reliance trainings. It's just endless. And that's why the company is what it is because everyone is trained and competent and ready to do the work that they're supposed to do.
100%. I couldn't have said it any better. You nailed it.
Thanks.